Hey guys, it's Numpy and you're listening to Numpy Talks. Before we begin, I would like to apologize for all of the noises you might hear in this podcast. Basically, I am in India and I do not have a soundproof room because I'm broke. Anyways, today with us we have a fellow YouTuber who's actually really good at singing. So please introduce yourself.
Okay, hi guys. I did not see that coming. Every time somebody asks me to introduce myself, I go like, "What do I actually say?" My name is Rohini, and I'm currently a student. I'm doing my master's in IT at RMIT University, which is in Melbourne. But thanks to COVID, I've been sitting home and eating like a horse. Yeah, I just started this tiny little YouTube channel because after all those years of just singing in the shower, I'm like, maybe it's time. so
So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And guys, do check our channel out. I'll leave the link in the description. You better subscribe, people. Anyways, let's begin. We actually have a few questions from various people, and they wanted apparently someone mature to answer. So, let's
Okay,
get
then I
started.
wonder why I'm here, but okay.
You're here to
Jokes
shower
apart.
us with your wisdom.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Okay, and we have questions from different genres. Are you a feminist?
Yes, I do consider myself to be a feminist. And before I knew that was a term or a definition, as far as I understood it, I definitely felt like definitely I'm a feminist.
That's
Yeah,
good.
for
Like I feel like in this, like at this day and age, the question should be: You are a feminist, right?
Yes, definitely. I think that's more like it. And
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a term that is being interpreted incorrectly, or people say, oh, does that mean that you only stand for women's rights and things like that? And
I know,
without fully
right?
under, yeah. And then people come to totally attack you. They're just like, oh, are you a feminazi? And I think that discussion doesn't end there, but it's
Mhm.
more like it's important to understand what it fully stands for, which is equal rights for men and women.
Yeah.
And it's much beyond that, but on the very basic level, I think that's what
Mhm.
it is.
So, as a feminist, what are your views on the patriarchal society?
Ooh, okay. So um, I think it starts off in small levels where,
Mm.
when you're a kid, and I think it starts off at a very, very small age, you start realizing that,
Yeah.
oh, why can't I do this? Whereas some other, when you're kids, you're just playing with your friends, guy friends, and everybody else. And
Mhm.
suddenly it's like you have to be home by 6 p.m. And then your other friend is like, yeah, we don't care, just come home at any time. And you start noticing those small, small things.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's more than fighting the patriarchy. Was more, at least in my side, I was lucky to have a good discussion with my parents, and they were quite understanding that,
Mhm.
okay, I have like badminton practice like 6:30, so it's
Wow.
okay, you can stay, you just have to be safe and you just have to take care of yourself and you're responsible for yourself. So I think I was fortunate in that way. In terms of views on what how the patriarchal society is, I don't think that'll change until we start talking more about it, and we start teaching everybody, irrespective of your gender, what how it affects everybody else. Because I think there's also an undue pressure on men to,
Yeah.
be courageous, or don't cry in front of others,
I
or
know, right?
don't be sensitive. Like the other day, if a person likes a particular color, if they like pink, they're like, oh, you like pink, you're a guy. Or it's just undue pressure on everybody else and nobody's
Yeah.
winning. So if all of us are educated, in a sense that, not in terms of like degrees or anything, in terms of understanding that we're all winning. If
Same opportunities for everybody. Yeah.
Exactly. And we definitely can't go back in the past and change things, but we should remember where it started and how we can get better on from this point, like small things. So I think
Yeah.
that's my overall view. It's more hopeful, and it's more like things can change.
Yeah.
Um, we all sort of put our collective effort into it.
I guess our generation could achieve it seeing how woke we are.
Yeah, definitely. It's very, very true because I like even between us, I'd say, like even with my cousin or like me, I would be because because we're brought up in different in my environments and times. There are certain things which I don't realize I'm doing. Like I like to call myself out for doing that, but
Hmm.
simple things like it could be that if I want to go ahead and do something, let's say I want to maybe just learn how to drive or something, and I just start thinking like, oh, but you know what? I'm just like I'm not good at it, and you know what?
Hmm.
Like, I'm not confident, and it could be a multi. I'm just giving an example. It could be anything, and if somebody says something like, even the smallest thing, I start doubting myself. But there's a lot of difference in the generation now. Not that I'm not a part of it,
Yeah,
but like
yeah,
I'm
but
meaning like my
yeah, yeah,
yeah, they're much more confident, and with that and sure of themselves, with that comes like wanting to know how things work. Like for example, maybe when I was say a 15-year-old, I was not thinking like the way you are about feminism, or I
ah,
was
okay.
yeah, I think it was more like battling
Uh,
my
I
own
think like
insecurities at some point. Yeah,
I think we could thank social media and the internet for putting that influence on us
for
even so much.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's actually really nice.
I don't think feminism would be a term they teach at school.
Yeah, I think definitely, you start seeing things, you start seeing videos, and then you start forming your own opinions about it.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a thing
Yeah.
that's come with social media.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The next question is, has there ever been a friend whom you just lost contact with? Like, they drifted away or something?
Um, Definitely. I think through the years,
Hmm.
there will be, and it'll be unnatural if there have not been any friends. I mean, it's
Yeah.
great if not that's not happened to
Yeah.
you. That's wonderful. I mean, not to say that's wrong, but I think when you start off initially, when you're going to school, you
Yeah.
have people friends with you who share the same interest. Like you're all watching Pokemon, you're all
Yeah.
going to say same school. You just don't like certain classes, or like you hang out with each other. You find a lot of things in common.
Yeah.
Maybe once you go to high school, you start developing more of your personality. Like something that somebody says might not be your views on it, or
Yeah.
it could be that they have different interests, or they find different friend groups. So, and it's completely fine. I think it took me the longest time to accept that it's all right if people drift away, because that's just how we're growing. It's fine if it's wonderful if you're still friends with them, you
Do
still
you
connect to each other.
do you make efforts if it's a very precious friend, I guess?
Yeah, yeah, I completely get it, because sometimes you're always the first one texting or
Yeah.
you're always like, hey, can we meet, or like, can we do this, or you're just actively, it could be small things like you're just sharing a link and you're always telling about things. So I
Yeah.
think, at least from my point, I've been sort of like that person. Like I feel like always in a group there's always different kinds of people, so there's always this
Yeah.
one person who's just like whatever,
Like all,
but this
and
other
then
person,
another person like always reaching out like, bro, where are you?
let's yeah, or like let's make plans. So I
Yeah.
think I come somewhere in the middle. I'm not like actively making plans like, oh, let's go out somewhere, let's do this, let's do that, but I'm also like
Hmm.
reaching out to people, or like sort of like saying hey and trying to make it work. Get me? Like sometimes, because
Yeah.
you might have amazing memories in the past, like you might
I
have
know,
gone
right?
somewhere together. Even now I'm sort of like not fully in terms with it. Sometimes it feels like, what, we were so close with each other, how is it
Yeah.
that we're
The good old
not?
days.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's something that's always going to be there, and it doesn't change after a certain point, I feel like. Yeah.
Well, the next question is like completely opposite. It's like, how do you break up with a friend or your best friend?
Ooh,
See,
okay.
me,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm like straightforward. I just go like, yeah, I don't like you, so like I'm sorry. Can we like just that's how I am. What about you?
Um, I okay, so just like all my assignments, I like to run away from problems. No, not saying that. Um, I've I've never had um I've never had a like a situation where I had to say like I want to stop talking to you. But it's actually happened, but not in a very dramatic way.
Uh,
Thinking that goes like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. I mean, I like this is not working out
uh,
anymore. It's
so
more
you
being
just
like,
like drift away, like just fade, like just stop making efforts. Is that it? Or
no, I think there's always. I'm pretty sure you agree or like you echo the same feelings. It's like there's always this few triggering factors, or like you
yeah,
have those last straw. You're just like, this is the last time. If this person doesn't do X, Y, Z, yeah, that's about it. And sometimes it gets extended to like crazy extents because sometimes you're calling this person or like you're trying to get in touch with them and they don't want to reciprocate it. It can get a little. I think more than anything else, I start feeling sad. I think like different people have different ways of reacting to it. I start feeling like, oh my god, like why though? Like I understand sometimes people can be busy, but I start feeling a little upset. And then from that point onwards, I'm like, okay, let it be, whatever. Life happens. You have other things to deal with.
yeah,
So yeah, I think I've not broken up with a friend, but I think slowly just like
yeah.
fades. Yeah.
That's cool too.
Yeah.
So
Have you had a
me, have I ever
yeah, have
done
you
that? I guess I could say I've done it. I mean, I don't want to say more than that. I don't know.
All right, that's interesting to know because yeah, I think back in school that would be a thing because
I guess
sometimes like
so. Yeah.
yeah, I think that in back in school I remember now that you actually said it, I'm thinking back and I'm like, oh yeah, actually, yeah, I'm just anyway.
So, next question. Before I ask the next question, can you tell us how old you are?
I'm like 53. I mean,
Okay.
I'm turning,
Wow.
I'm 23 years old. I'll turn 24 in March. So
Yay.
yeah,
So, advanced happy birthday. I don't know.
yeah. Thank you. I'm always hyped about it.
Yay. So, what do you think about politics?
Okay, that's a very tricky question. But it's not very black and white like you'd think it is. Like for example, when I was in school and I'd be learning about the democracy and like
Hmm.
our history and topics henceforth, um I knew that okay, this is what I stand for. I'm a very liberal person.
Hmm.
I think I'm a liberal person. I want this things to be there expected out of a government. I These are the values that I stand for and things like that. But I think as you grow, maybe your opinions kind of, I mean, sometimes they can get stronger. Sometimes they can be like, okay, I know this is what I want. But you start being open to other. You start being open to discussions in the sense that
Yeah.
earlier maybe I would be strongly right wing or like I'd strongly say that
Yeah.
you know what,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am a very liberal person
Yeah.
and I believe that everybody should, I think it's a very socialist point of view. It's like, oh, I believe everybody should have equal opportunities. I'm not saying that equal opportunities, what I mean is everybody should have access to the same amount of wealth, or they should have that just makes it better,
Yeah.
or views like that. But I think as I grew, my opinions have more like what can. Okay, so this is just what I think.
Yeah.
I start
Yeah.
seeing
Totally.
because I can vote at this point, so I start thinking like, okay, in my local constituency,
Yeah.
what is the candidate offering, or what different are they doing, or what are they doing better? For example, in my constituency, it was like, we just have more cleaning and we just
Hmm.
have more, we try to limit small things actually, but they make a big impact. Like we'll make sure that waste separation is done is taken
Yeah.
seriously, which is actually a serious matter. But that so I think it's thinking more local from a very global perspective. Earlier, I used to have very strong opinions, or like I used to be like, oh, why is this particular president being like this, or why is this other
Yeah.
party being like this? But now I'm thinking more local, more of what I have control over because I'm
Yeah.
voting for that candidate. So I think my political opinions are very localized now. What can
Mm.
I do to support or like vote for a particular candidate?
Is that the right way to see things?
Could be. It's because sometimes you can be talking of all, you can be a big activist on certain things and you just don't go vote. Like
Yeah. Have you voted like ever?
it
Like
just
the supreme power of selecting your leader. How was it?
it feels nice actually. It feels like because when I was a kid, I used to go with my parents, and they have this tiny little ballot place, and I used to be
Mm.
like, "Can I press on it? Like, can I do that?" So when you're actually going out there and you're actually doing it, you're like, "Oh, have I grown?"
I
So
know.
yeah, but I mean, the thing is, because you can only vote when you're in your place, like in your city or like in your area, and I've had the opportunity to do that only twice because I was not home at the other times.
Mm.
So now I think I try more often to do that, like be home to vote.
Yeah. Okay, next
Yeah.
question. Oh my god. This was actually asked a lot. Like I got multiple questions in the same genre. It was like,
Ooh,
does it ever get easy?
it doesn't get easier, but you get better at handling is what I believe.
Wow.
Because I feel like, when you're in your, say, 12th grade or
Mhm.
10th grade, whatever, they tell you that once you go to college, everything is fine. You'll get a job, you'll find friends, you'll be independent, you'll start earning money. But, when you're in 12th grade, like, for example, if I'm taking my own example, I was dealing with stuff like, am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Like, can
Yeah.
I crack the engineering entrance? Like at that time, that was a thing. Like I can I do
Yeah,
this
yeah,
because
yeah.
I've taken coaching and stuff like that. And will I be liked? And those are your problems at that particular time, and
Yeah.
those are the things you're facing. Like getting into a college. Like if you tell me that you're probably like thinking, oh, do I take like science, do I take like commerce, or
Yeah.
arts? That's probably your thought. That's probably what you think is, oh, that's such a hard decision to make. What kind of, if you had to say, okay, this is something I'm dealing with and it's slightly hard, what would it be for you? Like,
For
um
me,
hmm.
right now, since I'm in 12th, I guess it's the boards. Seeing how just one grade decides which college I can go to is kind of, well, crazy.
Yeah, it is very crazy. And so just to, because I think, I mean, it's a discussion that it's not heard because when I was in 12th grade, everybody that I knew around me they did very well. Like I had all like cousins and other people who were
Oh my
toppers. They
god,
did
yes.
extremely well. And then and the thing is, I actually did pretty well in my 10th because I actually enjoyed it because 10th was CC, and like I mean, basically we had to make a lot of charts, we had a lot of speaking, we had a lot of group work.
Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Straight, like I go to 11th and 12th, it's more like you have to study, you have to present this
I
answer in
know.
this way. If you don't put bullet points, like they'll cut your marks. And
I
it
know.
was,
Like,
I
no more
mean,
than 5 points. And these are the keywords.
exactly. And exactly. And I remember going out there, and we had this for math, especially because I liked math, but I was horrible at math. I don't know how to explain that, but
Yeah, I
it's just a
get it.
thing that, yeah. So I was going out there and buying all these guides, like together with R.D. Sharma, which
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I just never did end up opening. But so I think that time, you're just like, what will happen if I don't? And you just have so much of energy that you put into it. I didn't end up doing very well for my 12th. Actually,
Wow.
I got a, yeah, I actually ended up with a 64%. percent, I believe.
That's
Yeah,
good.
64%. Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah. The
I
point
mean,
being,
look at you now. Like you are like happy, I assume. like
yeah,
like if
definitely,
you're like
definitely.
happy right now at where you are, I don't think all those grades like they
That's
matter.
that's amazing. That's amazing for you to say that at this point of time, because for me, I did not think that way. I was more like, if I don't get a 90 something, I will mess up in life. I'm not getting anywhere, because that's what they tell you. Like, I
Oh,
think at
I
least what they
have
told
those
me.
days also.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. It's more like up and down, but for
Yeah.
me, most of the days it was like that. I'm like, if I don't do this, this is not happening, and then it's like a
Mhm.
full dark. Like, how it goes from, like, in movies, it just gets black and white. That's just
Yes.
how it was. Like, it's
Falling
raining and it's just
into a
black
deep
and white.
pit. Yeah.
Yeah, not to say that grades are not important. It is important for certain reasons. Like, for
Yeah.
example, somebody wants to get into a college and they need a particular grade, or like they feel like they're enjoying what they're studying, or like some people are good at presentation, or like writing the answers properly. So it's not to say that it's not important, but
Yeah.
at that point, I think I
That
was
might
thinking,
be a priority at that point.
yeah. And then, when you go to college, your priority shifts, but you keep having problems. Even like for me, even now, because I'm again a student, I still have those same things, but you just deal with it better. Like, I'm not stressed anymore about um certain things. Like, I'm not stressed anymore about maybe giving a group presentation, which I was super nervous. My hands would shake, my leg would shake and stuff earlier. So it just gets better. You just get better at dealing with it, is maybe what I feel.
That was actually the best answer I've ever heard from, anybody.
Thank you. That just feels nice.
I guess we're running out of time. Let's end it here.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I think I spoke a lot of
So
things.
your views were really relatable and even your answers were interesting. So I think this was worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me. It was really nice talking to you.
Thank you so much. Guys, do check our channel out. I'll leave the link in the description. Also, if you have any suggestions for my next topic or anything related to this podcast, do email me also in the description. And to those listeners who have stayed until the end, my gratitude to you is immense. And that's all for today. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy.